do you want to split the beginning like the way we do the other songs? So,
Send me an Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. I know it's a day after Christmas, so we might be feeling tired or whatever, but we're here. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Shantae Haymore-Kearney. I am your Sunday morning hostess, and welcome to Unity on the Bay, your positive path for spiritual living. We are so grateful to have you here, whether you're with us in person or you're joining us from home or online. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing your energy with us this morning. Here at Unity on the Bay. We want to let you know that while we're here together, our kids are having their own time of connection and of learning and of inspiration in our Kids Zone, and you can join by visiting the Family tab on our website, unityonthebay.org. Your child can join both in person or online, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. So we are still celebrating the holiday season. There's so much still to celebrate as we continue to wrap up the year. So I'm going to share with you two exciting things that we have coming up here at Unity on the Bay that you need to know about. The first is our New Year's Eve Burning Bowl ceremony. This is the perfect experience to let go of 2021 and to put in place your intentions for 2022. This is a highly symbolic ceremony. It takes place on December 31st, which is New Year's Eve at 6:30 p.m., and you can attend both online and in person. What you'll do is you'll write your letter to God that we'll keep and we'll pray over and we'll even send back to you. And plus, as you depart for the evening, you'll have a written piece of paper where you will write down all the things that you want to let go of from 2021, and you will place it into a bowl to burn it outside in the courtyard in a safe environment. It is a wonderful way to start the new year. If you've never participated in a burning bowl ceremony, I highly recommend it. And there will be some really awesome music, live music. Everyone is welcome. And of course, you can visit our website to check out all the rest of the details. Yes? Yes. Okay, so for those of you who may not feel that burning things up is your speed and you want to take a more gentle and easy route into the new year, you can join us for our White Stone ceremony, which is taking place on Sunday, January 2nd. It'll happen during our Sunday celebration right here at the 9:30 and 11:15. And during that service, you will uncover your one-word intention for 2022, and you'll leave with it written on a white rock. You know, I still have my white rock from probably 2014, and my word for that year was faith. Our community just loves this ceremony because it really gives you a simple but powerful way to set your one-word intention for the year, and also something physical to keep handy throughout the year as a reminder. Again, you can check out those details on our website. We would love to have you. Please share the word. And as we move along with our Sunday service, I'm happy to welcome Reverend Juan up to the stage. Good morning, Juan.
Good morning, Shantae. Thank you for that, Shantae, and good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of today's Sunday experience. I'm really excited, actually, for what we have put together for you today, because we're still celebrating holidays, right? Like Christmas may have been yesterday, but we can continue to celebrate the holidays. And today is a special service where we're going to incorporate a couple of pieces of the tradition of the cultural holiday of Kwanzaa. There may be congregants of ours who celebrate Kwanzaa. There may be some of you who may not know much about it, but I really believe that we are able to glean and lean on the principles of Kwanzaa to recognize more of our truth. So I'm excited about that. For any of you who are here for the first or second time, whether in person or watching from home, we'd love to get to know you more. So make sure that you follow the prompts that are on the screen. It'll give us a little bit more information about you, and we'll be also able to reach out to you. Just check and see what are the things that you're looking for in spiritual community and help you feel connected to all that we at Unity on the Bay have to offer. Now, when we join on Sunday mornings, we are reminded of some of the qualities, some of the energy and the consciousness that has brought us to be part of Unity on the Bay through the mission, vision, and the core values of who we are as a community. Today, I'm going to invite you to speak with me our mission and our vision statements. So, knowing that they come alive through each and every one of you, let's just take a moment, let's take a breath, and let us speak our mission and vision together. We are an inclusive community serving as a catalyst for spiritual awakening, evolution, and action. Our vision is humanity inspired to its divinity. Now, this inclusivity that we talk about really shows up in many different ways, right? And so today, inclusivity is honoring and learning about others' experiences, and doing so through looking at what Kwanzaa means for African Americans, not only in the United States, but really as members of our own spiritual community. I'm going to invite Russell Charles, who is one of our elders here at Unity on the Bay. He has been involved with the Racial Justice Ministry, and our Racial Justice Ministry has been involved in creating this experience for each of us. Kwanzaa is a 7-day celebration that is estimated to be celebrated by over 12 million people in the United States. And so how fitting that today's first day of Kwanzaa is all about unity. And so we're going to invite Russell to come up. He is going to guide us in a different opening prayer for us, as this is adapted from the libation statement, which is usually performed to open up the Kwanzaa celebrations. So thank you, Russell.
Good morning, Unity. Okay, it is tradition to pour libation in remembrance of the ancestors. Kwanzaa provides us an opportunity to reflect on the past and also the present. Water from this communal cup is poured from the four winds, from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. This water is poured from the directions of the four winds. Now, let us pray. For the motherland, cradle of civilization, for the ancestors and their indomitable spirit, for the elders from whom we can learn very, very much, for our youth who represent the future and the promise for tomorrow, for our people, the original people, for our struggle, and in remembrance of those who have struggled on our behalf, for Umoja, the principle of unity, which should guide us in all that we do, for the Creator who provides all things, great and small. Let us now take a moment to remember all of our ancestors and the friends and family who have left a legacy in our lives, and let us give thanks. And so it is. Amen.
Beautiful, thank you. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. It gives me great pleasure to bring up to the stage at this time a long-time face from Unity on the Bay, but who has not been here for some time, Naima Abrams. Thank you, Naima. And you notice also the harvest table. She had prepared the beautiful decor of the harvest table. So thank you for that, Naima.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. determination and will. Ujima, a little work. Ujima, yeah, yeah, yeah. You help me and I help you. Yeah, that's perfect. Kumba, let's create. Imani, let's have faith. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Celebrating culture. Gusta sopa, 7 principles. Abaragani, umoja. Abaragani, ujima. Abaragani, ujima. Abaragani, nia. Abaragani, kumba. Abaragani, imani. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Celebrating culture. Gather around now, bring your family near. Celebrate this Kwanzaa all throughout the year. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Celebrating culture. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Kwanzaa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Celebrating culture. Kwanzaa.
Good morning, Unity on the Bay. See, I was so excited to get up here, I forgot the microphone. So we're going to do something a little bit different today, slightly different than the Daily Word. We're going to give it a Kwanzaa flavor, but it's still an inspirational reading. Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, that enables us to acknowledge and accept and celebrate the fruits of the harvest. We ask you to bless our worship service as we embrace the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, the Nguzo Saba. Bless this assembly and all African and other symbols used in this service. All-wise God, grant us wisdom and understanding as in the days of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to honor the call to be your chosen people. Having been brought to an unfamiliar land and marked by this history, allow us to acknowledge you as the God who has never left us. O Ancient of Days, we invoke your holy presence as we identify, recall, and relay the first principle of Kwanzaa, Umoja, the principle of unity, which we celebrate today. As it says in Psalm 133, "Behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." Help us to be a unified people while interacting with our various communities, families, neighbors, friends, nations, and races, as unity is a true blessing from God. Umoja. May we employ the element of unity as we continue to acknowledge God. May we strive to maintain this true spirit of unity as we walk as your people around the world. Umoja to all of you.
Our God is an awesome God who reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God who reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God who reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God. Our God is an awesome God.
So now we take a moment to start to ease into a time of stillness and meditation and connection. A time of unity. A time of umoja. Let's start with taking a deep breath in. Just notice how the breath moves and fills up your body. And as you softly exhale, allow yourself to settle deeper into your seat and more fully into this present moment. And with each and every inhale and exhale, bringing you into a deeper state of unity, of umoja, first with yourself by simply observing your body, your breath, your thoughts. And allow that sense of unity to deepen as you connect and become more fully aware of the divine presence, God, Source, that's here with you, with us, right now, and always. Umoja stresses the importance of togetherness for the family and for our community. But it first must start with us. So if you'd like to, you can place one hand on your heart and the other hand on your belly, your abdomen, as a symbol of deepening that unity and connection with yourself first. And extending that connection out to others. Just allow your mind and your heart to be open to the people in your life that you feel unity with. You'll know them by the names, the faces, the memories, the thoughts, even the feelings that arise as you think of your community. And with each breath in and each breath out, notice what it is that you're connected to them by. Perhaps it's a sense of love, of encouragement and support, joy and laughter. What is it that connects you to your community? And as you continue to breathe and deepen the sense of umoja that you have, that we all have together, take a moment to acknowledge those in our lives that we feel disconnected with. Those that we feel discord or misunderstanding or misalignment with. And start to build a bridge. Start to build a bridge between you and them to create a deeper sense of connection. Perhaps it's a bridge of forgiveness, of compassion, of grace, of understanding. And as we rest for these next few moments, whether it's someone that you know or someone that you've not yet met, see yourself building a bridge of umoja, of unity. Perhaps it's the power of love that you extend to a stranger or a distant loved one. Just allow yourself to keep breathing and building bridges of connection. Visualizing connection between you to yourself, you and divine source to you and others, building the community through Umoja. In the African saying, Umoja is reflected by the phrase, I am we. Or, I am because we are. So as you continue to rest in this few more moments of silence, say that silently to yourself. I am because we are. Now slowly start to bring yourself back to this space, to this time, to your physical body with a deepened sense of unity and connection. Take a deep breath and bring your palms together over your heart. Take a moment to feel the beat in your heart, the aliveness that you are. Greeting this deepened sense of connection with gratitude and appreciation. And gently place your palms together. And as you breathe in and open your eyes, whether you're in a room by yourself or in a space with someone else, you can turn to the person next to you or say out loud to yourself, I am because we are. Umoja. God bless.
Our amazing music ministry, and I'll say it again, it is really great to see you on our stage again, Naima. Thank you so much for being a part of this. She also created the harvest table that you see before you. And off to the side, those watching at home may not be able to see it, but there's another communal harvest table. And the idea and the tradition is that everybody that comes to celebrate Kwanzaa would bring, the harvest would bring fruits and vegetables, and those in the community that needed it would then, after the celebration, take it home. So by all means, on your way out, those of you in the room, please pass by the communal table. But, you know, I really love learning a little bit more about the harvest table. And as I was reading about Kwanzaa and the harvest table, it really reminded me of recognizing what we are planting the seeds for, right? You know, this idea of harvest, and one of the things that I read is like, we're harvesting our relationships with each other. We're harvesting these principles that we're gonna learn about today, for those of you who may not know them. But the question is, what are we planting the seeds of? Right? Because we know we reap what we sow. And so what is it that we want to live into? How is it that we want to experience life? How is it that we want to experience each other? How is it that we want to experience God's beauty and world? And so this is really what I believe we're sort of celebrating today as we honor the tradition and the cultural holiday of Kwanzaa. Now, habari gani? Habari gani? Habari gani? See, some people in the room know that that is part of the tradition of Kwanzaa. For those of you who may not know, habari gani translates to what's in the news. And it's a call and response that takes place during Kwanzaa, like what's in the news? And then the people that are gathered would scream out whatever the name of the principle is that day is being celebrated. And wouldn't you know how amazing it is that today, on a Sunday, when we come together as a spiritual community, today is the first day of Kwanzaa, and you've already heard it, umoja. It is the principle of unity. So what a beautiful thing that we can come to unity to celebrate and be inspired by a greater sense of unity. And so when I say habari gani, you would say, habari gani? Habari gani. I love that. You know, Kwanzaa is it's particular to the experience of African Americans here in the United States, although it's being celebrated around the world now. As we mentioned earlier, it's a 7-day holiday that begins on December 26th and goes all the way to January 1st. And I really love that, you know, because as some of us who are learning about it are invited into it, it's like, what do we want to do between, you know, Christmas Day, which we celebrated yesterday, and the beginning of a whole new year? How intentional do we want to be about what it is that we are planting the seeds of, so that we can harvest the prosperity, abundance, love, peace, and joy that we know is the truth of our experience, of who we are. Now, Kwanzaa was started by Dr. Karenga, and he did this in the 1960s. It's been celebrated since 1966. And part of it was to just inspire a greater sense of tradition, the rich history that African Americans have, and the rich history that they can lean on, right? Especially during moments of struggle. It was in the 1960s, and so there was a lot of struggle as we continue to experience challenges and struggles with racism and with inequality. But it was a way of looking at the possibility and the strength of the community. And as we are learning about Kwanzaa, for those who don't celebrate it here, it's an opportunity for us to also get clear about what is our heritage. And I'm even speaking beyond the cultural heritage, but the heritage of knowing that God is living within us, that God is expressing as us. That is our ultimate heritage. That is the stuff that we're made of. And so in moments of challenges, I mean, it is Christmas, but how many of you have experienced some challenges along the way, right? You know, we experience challenges, difficulties. We can lean on our heritage, on knowing that God is expressing through us and is in us. Now, Dr. Karenga said this just last year about Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a unique Pan-African time of remembrance, reflection, reaffirmation, and recommitment. It is a special and unique time to remember and honor our ancestors, to reflect on what it means to be African and human in the most expansive and meaningful sense, and to affirm the sacred beauty and goodness of ourselves. Could those of us that are in this room who don't celebrate Kwanzaa get a little bit more fully into and buy into this idea of knowing our self-worth, knowing who it is that we are, what it is that we are, and how we are to be in this world. Now, again, it's a cultural holiday for African Americans, and so it may not be the holiday for all of us that are standing in the room, nor should it be. It is really about the African American experience and specific to the African American culture. And that doesn't mean that as we experience it through other people celebrating Kwanzaa, that it doesn't mean that we can't learn something from it and that we can't be inspired by it. And as we move through today, I'm gonna invite you to consider a couple of questions, a couple of questions that actually came up for me. First of all, because it is an African American cultural holiday, to just sit back and ask, well, as these principles, are expressed and celebrated, what do they mean for African Americans, right? Like part of us moving into that idea of inclusivity and diversity is to really honor other traditions and to also step into understanding where some people are coming from, where others are coming from. And so asking the question, what does this mean for African Americans? How does this inform my relationship with African Americans, with my brothers and sisters, right, who celebrate Kwanzaa, who may be experiencing life differently than I am? And then the second question that I would invite you to consider is, what do these principles mean for me? What are they inviting in me, and how can I respond to the opportunity that is before me as I'm inspired by the principles and the tradition of Kwanzaa? One of the traditions is to light the candles of the Kinara, which you see here. And we're gonna invite members of our community to come up here shortly and light the candles. But I wanna share with you, so the black candle in the middle represents the people that celebrate Kwanzaa. The red candles actually represent the struggles and the challenges that have been overcome. It's not about pretending that they didn't happen. It's really acknowledging them, really acknowledging some of the shadows, some of the difficulties and the challenges that are even still before the African American community. And then the green candles are really about the possibility of the future, the possibility of the opportunities of abundance, prosperity, health, wholeness, all that we know God to be. And so the green candles also just represent what we are doing in this very moment to create the space and to own the space of these opportunities and possibilities. Especially this week as we move into the new year, it's really important to know that Christmas, it was yesterday and we celebrated the birth of the Christ within us, but Charles Fillmore says this about Christmas: it does not belong to the past. It is a vital, living, present truth. The bringing forth of the Christ child is not a work that is finished in Bethlehem. It is taking place in our midst every day. It is this that we celebrate. And so it's a moment by moment, day by day, living out of our Christ consciousness. And I truly believe that the principles that we're going to learn about and that we're going to hold in our hearts from Kwanzaa are some of the ways in which this Christ consciousness actually shows up in the world. And so I invite us now to just sit with what this means for us as the candles on the Kinara are lit.
Avargani.
Umoja.
Umoja. Unity. Stresses the importance of togetherness for the family and the community, which is reflected in the African saying, I am we, or I am because we are. I light this candle for Umoja.
Kujichagulia,
self-determination, requires that we define our common interests and make decisions that are in the best interests of our family and community. I light this candle for Kujichagulia.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility, reminds us of our obligation to the past, present, and future, and that we have a role to play in the community, society, and world. I light this candle for Ujima.
Ujima, cooperative economics, emphasizes our collective economic strength and encourages us to meet common needs through mutual support. I light this candle for Ujima. Ujima.
Nia, purpose, encourages us to look within ourselves and to set personal goals that are beneficial to the community. I light this candle for Nia.
Kuumba, creativity. It makes use of our creative energies to build and maintain a strong and vibrant community. I light this candle for Kuumba.
Imani, faith, focuses on honoring the best of our traditions, draws upon the best in ourselves, and helps us strive for a higher level of life for humankind by affirming our self-worth and confidence in our ability to succeed and triumph in righteous struggle. I light this candle for Imani.
And so as often as the light does, right, we can allow the light to be that which inspires us. And we can allow that light to, well, the candles, to really be an expression of things that are going on within us, the ways in which we want to live our values, the ways in which we want to experience life and the truth of who we are as children and expressions of the divine. Now, we want to talk about unity today. Right? Today is the first day of Kwanzaa. Today is all about unity and how it's appropriate in some ways, you know, because of the fact that we are in unity on the Bay and all of that. But I also just find it interesting to talk about unity right after Christmas, because I know some of us experienced unity as we maybe went home and spent some time with family and friends. But I also realize that some of us may have done some of that and experienced that there's some disharmony, right, within our friends, within the family, or some things that are like just coming up. I know that also there are quite a few people in this community who may have experienced Christmas on their own, maybe due to COVID, or this is the first year that somebody is experiencing Christmas after the loss of a loved one. And so there's all these opportunities before us to really look and see how it is that we are feeling into unity and looking at the ways in which these activities really inspire us to a greater sense of the unity that we are asked into. Now, if you were here for the Christmas Eve service, Reverend Chris had a very simple but deep message for us. And it was very clear: to be nice. It was that. That was the Christmas message that Reverend Chris had for us, to be nice. And I realized that the reason why it was as simple but as complex and challenging as it could be is that many of us have experienced this last year or have been experiencing some uncomfortability, right? Some of the turbulence that has taken place, some of the ways in which we have come to a place of distrusting other people and really questioning other people. And so this is a real opportunity for us to recognize what has been going on and ask ourselves, do we want to, in this very moment, experience something in a different way? You know, Sig Paulson, the Unity minister, said, "We have been trampling on each other and the rest of the universe because we have not understood its oneness, its unity." And so if there is anything that is standing in the way of you feeling harmony and unity with other people, even within yourself, ask yourself the question, can I go further into my own Christhood? Can I accept the truth of my being? The moment that we accept that we are the living expressions of the Christ in a deep and significant way is the moment that we start to live out and desire to experience a greater sense of harmony in all of our relationships, and especially harmony within ourselves, harmony with this understanding of us as sacred and worthy. How many of us feel harmony? Right? How many of us, when we say we are the living expressions of God, that we are sacred and worthy, have those thoughts? Oh, no, you're not. Right? Like you're not in harmony fully with this understanding. And so today is a really great opportunity for us to get really clear about what is keeping us from knowing our unity with our own divine self, and through that, experience how we may be keeping ourselves separate from others that are around us. You know, it really invites us, as we center ourselves in this Christ consciousness, to act and behave in a way that not only is nice, but is supportive. It builds community and it builds a sense of oneness with all those that are around us. Now, oneness doesn't necessarily mean sameness. And actually today is even about experiencing some of the unique ways in which others show up and the others experience some of these traditions and holidays. And so we can hold our uniqueness as part of the oneness and the expression of God, and know that even through our uniqueness, we are bonded. And we are together in this. Now, Donald Curtis said, the path towards unity, the path towards wholeness on any level, penal, social, national, or international, is always really the same path. It is the path towards creative expression, the upward path of recognizing our true spiritual nature. And so unity is a product. It's a byproduct of getting really clear about who we are as the living expressions of the Christ, of really embodying our truth. And so how are we practicing unity in our lives? It's a really great day to ask ourselves, are we truly practicing unity with the God of our being and with others as expressions of the divine? You know, today with Umoja, like this is really about unity with ourselves, unity with our family, unity with intergenerational unity, community unity, and Pan-African unity. How are we actively working with these areas in our own lives and embodying our Christhood? You know, and especially after the holidays, right, as we are on the cusp of a whole new year, how do we want to start off the new year? How do we want to clean the slate as we begin the new year? I love that in the Jewish tradition, right? Like the holiday of a new year, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are so tightly knit together because it's the idea of like, how do we want to start off anew? Do we want to do it from a sense of hurt, a sense of blame or guilt? Or do we want to like really work in our forgiveness, work in letting go of some of the guilt and shame and really stepping into a very clear space that allows me to connect with Shantae, with Elvis, with all of the people that are around me in a way that just without all the other stuff makes me remember I am the Christ, They are the Christ. We are one in our understanding and in our embodiment of this Christ essence. And so it's really an opportunity for reconciliation, to restore harmony. And so what self-judgments about yourself have you made this year? Are you holding in this very moment that you want to actually bring harmony to really own and just feel into the truth of our oneness, the truth of us being the embodiment of this Christ essence? And so we start first with ourselves as we seek to be in unity with our truth and allow our actions, allow the ways that we show up in the world to be in harmony with that which we say we believe. And then through that, we become more and more in tune on how to be in harmony with those that are around us. It's a time of doing the work. We have a short amount of time, just a couple of days between now and New Year's, but it can be so rich. And I really trust and I really hope that each and every one of us takes this time as we look to the new year to really get centered on how we want to show up and what is the work that we want to do today, right? Like maybe there's somebody that you need to text today. Maybe there's somebody that you need to call today. Maybe there's a worksheet that you need to do today to just get more clear and more in harmony with the truth of what is going on so that you can be in unity with yourself and with those around you. I recognize also that being in harmony doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to change others, right? And some of the challenges may still be there. And yet, the moment that we believe ourselves to just be able to come from that place of the Christ essence and be in unity, what we are doing is we're just bringing harmony to the situation. We're no longer fighting the situation. How many of us, right, like this year that's coming up, how many of us would we want to feel like we don't have to fight so much anymore? Right? Like how we don't have to struggle so much anymore, that we can be in peace, that we can be in the flow of God and experience whatever is coming our way with a trust and a knowing that we are this Christ presence, and a knowing that we can be in unity with all of life, and that what we do and how we do it can bring a greater experience of unity, not only for ourselves, but for others. And so this is the work that is before us. Now, I also believe that this holiday, this cultural holiday for African Americans, and how African Americans are invited to look at the unity with the Pan-African people, is an opportunity for us that aren't African American, aren't part of that Pan-African community, to, from the outside, ask ourselves the question, how can we be in unity and in solidarity with Pan-Africans? How is it that we can stand in solidarity for equality, equity, and justice, right? Because it's not about there not being the challenges, it's how we're responding and how we are being the expressions of the good that God is to lessen the load, to support each other in experiencing a greater sense of self. I just, as I was learning more and more about Kwanzaa, I just really love this idea of the colors of the candle, and the red struggles. I mean, we're going to have struggles. We're going to have challenges. We are living through struggles and challenges. And not only can we own that, accept that, be in harmony with just an awareness that it's going to happen, but we can at the same time hold to the possibility. Hold to the recognition that we have overcome. Just like African Americans have overcome so much in life and in this country, we can also overcome. We can also be inspired by what it is that they have moved through and what they're also, people that are African American and holding this tradition and this holiday at heart, what they're inviting us into. To a greater sense of unity, to a greater sense of love, to a greater sense of harmony for all to experience. And so as Shantae, was speaking earlier about the different services that we have coming up, and she was talking about the White Stone ceremony, like I was already on the side getting a vision of the word unity being that which shows up for me in my White Stone. But I ask you, what would it look like? What would it feel like if 2022 is the year of unity? What would it look like if that is our intention for the full year? Because Kwanzaa is a celebration 7 days, but the principles of Kwanzaa, we're invited to live day in and day out. And so how can we live unity? How can we hold that as the intention? And what would it look like, right? What would it look like every moment that we question ourselves to be able to stand back and say, I'm going to be in harmony with the truth that we know is already within me, that I am the expression of good. In moments of challenge or struggles with somebody else, being able to step back and know this is the year of harmony. This is the year of unity. I'm going to do the work that I need to do in order to have a better relationship that is up with what is going on here. Whatever the challenges and difficulties that can show up within our family, within our community, with a human family, we can trust that we can overcome it. And we can overcome it by really embodying the truth of our being, really getting clear about how it is that the Christ is guiding and leading us and inspiring us to a greater acceptance of our truth. Now, one of the things that I appreciate about Kwanzaa as I've come to understand it is this idea of moving through the challenges and stepping more fully into the light. 2022 can be that year for each and every. Actually, why even think about it as next year? This moment can be that. This experience can be that if we allow ourselves to really own it. Robert Sicking says, in our expanding consciousness of our unity with all that God is, we have the ability to meet any challenge that comes to us and to rise above it in mobility, in dignity, and with every expectation of being freed from its limitations. This harmony is a limitation. Not seeing each other as whole beings and expressions of God is a limitation. Not seeing ourselves for our truth, how sacred and worthy we are, is a limitation. Is it moment now? Is this the time when we can be freed from that? We each have to answer that ourselves. But I'll tell you what, really honoring and celebrating the tradition of Kwanzaa or experiencing through other people celebrating Kwanzaa brings me into a greater knowing that I can do it, brings me into a greater understanding that it is possible. So that is the power of unity. And this is a PSA. That is the power of unity. That is the power of unity on the Bay. That is the power of the community that we are a part of. And that is the power of unity as a way of being. When we fully accept the Christ that is in us, the hope of all glory. And we are in for glory. We are in for a life of abundance and prosperity and wholeness. All we have to do is start accepting that Christ nature that is within us and allow ourselves to be guided to the right actions. We can and we will. And so today we celebrate unity and we acknowledge ourselves as moving beyond celebrating it and really living it. I want to close by reading this prayer for abundant justice and love that the Unity Movement put on one of their web pages. As one in divine presence, we embrace our common humanity. We are held in the loving arms of Spirit, and we rise above fear to walk in love, faith, and peace. We release any belief that divides us and turns to one another with understanding. Wisdom reveals the path to healing for our communities. With unity of purpose, we create justice, equality, and peace for all people. In the abundance of God, there is enough love, enough peace, and enough freedom for all to live together as one. We hold this vision of healing and harmony for ourselves, our communities, and our world. This is the unity of God. Namaste.
Kind of just want to stay right here so that we can enjoy this beautiful celebration, right? I am going to stay right here so we can just fully enjoy it, actually. Did you learn something today? Yes. I really want to thank the Racial Justice Ministry team for all of their hard work and our special guests for all of their hard and beautiful work to put this together, to share the celebration of Kwanzaa and Umoja with us this morning. Thank you, Reverend Juan, for really demonstrating or pointing out how we can bring these principles into our everyday life starting today. We don't have to wait for the new year. We have a new moment, and this is our new moment right now to live and to have these principles be present for each one of us. I'm feeling very full. I'm feeling very inspired by this service, and I hope that you are too. And if you are, now is your time to give through the spirit of giving and receiving and in gratitude for our giving opportunity. So we have envelopes available for you if you would like to give that way. We're going around, just raise your hand if you need one. If you would like to give by going green, you can text the word give, G-I-V-E, to the phone number 833-245-5645. That information is also available for you on your screens. And remember, that's a new phone number, so if you still have the old information, then you need to update your contacts. We're going to give you a few moments of sacred silence to prepare your gift and to do so in the spirit of gratitude. We are thankful for your gift and for your generosity. Together, we'll bless these gifts with our offertory blessing by saying, "Divine love that I am blesses all that I give and all that I receive." Amen. Okay, so we're going to close with blessing our children, the children who have been in our Kids Zone, whether it be in person or online, the child that lives within you, the child that's in your home. Just bring your hands together, create some energy so we can extend to the children for this blessing as we say, "Children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, we behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things." All right. Remember that we are here to pray with you, affirmative prayer, anything that you need to be held in prayer or celebrated or uplifted. Just find one of our prayer chaplains after we wrap up service today so that you can have some prayer support. They are coming forward so that you can identify them. If you are online, you can drop your prayer request in the chat and we will hold your prayer in consciousness. Bringing Reverend Juan back up to the stage so we can close out with our prayer for protection.
Yeah, and a couple of really quick things. First of all, this was Shantae's first time guiding our meditation this morning. So we're gonna say thank you for that. Also, if you are so inspired and want to continue to be connected to Kwanzaa, our Racial Justice Ministry has created some really wonderful videos that are going to be played on our social media every day during Kwanzaa. Check it out so that you can experience more of the principles and see how you can incorporate them into your life. With that, thank you so much for being here. Let us stand so that we can say our prayer for protection and then follow that with our peace song. Let us affirm together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.